Hey, this is Ryan Phillips here, and this is my game tonight against Jon Trivett. Excuse me. I was very lucky to win this game. I was totally busted at one point with what I felt was a very clear win for my opponent with the white pieces. Um, John played in his usual style with a very speculative piece sacrifice, which I accepted, and then I probably should have been able to defend a lot much better than I did. But luckily for me, John made a pretty crucial mistake, and I was able to come through with the victory. So I think a lot of people might enjoy this game. I've been experimenting with my openings. So I played the Najdorf, which isn't an experiment, but the specific line I played in the Najdorf is very something I don't play very often, and I probably should learn these lines a little bit better before I just throw them out. But I figured that maybe the best way to learn is just to play them over the board in a real tournament setting and see kind of how you feel with the position. But I think I've been really mixing up the move orders and not playing these positions too well. So anyway, so the beginning just standard Najdorf stuff. So far so good. Just normal stuff. So here I deviate from what I normally play with this move H6. So I don't really know what I'm doing exactly. I'm just trying to play more actively than I normally do and try to see if I could get some kind of crushing wins, I guess you could say, with the black pieces, which of course if you have the black pieces you're not supposed to get a crushing win. But I figured that if I could start playing like sharper lines that maybe against club players they might not play accurately at some point in the game, I could get some pretty decisive victories. I did want to comment after following the match with John and Chris Reynolds and just playing this game. He's a good player still, John. Really good. I think probably just like a little bit of ego, like arrogance. Once I like surpassed him in rating, I kind of forgot just how good he was. But I haven't played him in a while. But just playing this game and what he saw and the lines that we were looking at, he's a very good player, John. And I think I learned a lesson. Maybe I don't want to say like I underestimated him, but I don't think I realized. I guess underestimate's a fine word because I didn't realize he could play this strong, and just the lines he was looking at, I wasn't even considering a lot of them. Just really beautiful attacking ideas. So it was a real treat to get to play this game, and again I was very fortunate to be able to win. I definitely should have lost. John was taking a lot of time with the opening. I'd say probably about move 14 or 15. He was down to about 30 minutes. The game starts with 100 minutes, so he spent 70 minutes about on his time, so about 70% of his time on like his first 15 moves. So he's definitely calculating pretty deeply. So bishop h4, and then here's where I kind of g5 is a mistake. I think the line goes bishop e7. So just to queen f3 and then g5. And I know Jose Ramirez plays this line very well. He had a nice game against Cameron Patterson at the National Open, I believe it was like 2 years ago or so in this line. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, this is the line, and this isn't what I played. But even this position, after looking at some of the opening analysis with it, I don't particularly like this for black. I guess white sacrifices some pieces, and it basically stays equal as far as computer analysis. But as far as actual gameplay, it's if black makes one inaccuracy, they're gonna lose. And I think I've seen Virgil play the white side of this. I can't remember against who, but I think it might have been against Jose also. And I don't remember the outcome, but I remember that was a pretty interesting game. Anyway, though, so I didn't play bishop e7 first like I'm supposed to. I just pushed ahead with g5, and the computer doesn't seem to like this move very much. I don't like this move very much. I just kind of I thought this was a line I could play, and I just was experimenting. And I guess over the board I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was as bad as the computer's saying. But I really don't know this line too well, and maybe maybe I shouldn't get into this stuff if I don't really know what I'm doing. So I played knight h7, or f takes g5, and I played knight h7. So already the cool thing though that I like about this setup is the e5 square is really nice for a black piece. Without the f pawn or the d pawn, this square is very nice. What I didn't realize would be so strong was this half open f file for white, and John really took advantage of that really well in this game. So we came up with this interesting idea of bishop c4 after quite a bit of thought, and my first instinct was I didn't particularly care for this move. But then when I started thinking about it deeper and looking at it deeper, I realized this f7 square is going to be vulnerable, especially with the half-open f-file. Life's going to be pretty tough for me if I don't play accurately. So I took h takes g5, which I thought was a natural move. And then John, he didn't shock me. I actually thought there's a potential that John's going to play castle kingside. just knowing the way he likes to play and his style, um, and he went for it. So I really respect the way Jon plays. Computer evaluation obviously didn't like this move much. I shouldn't say obviously, but it didn't like it too much. And but it was very difficult to refute over the board. I feel like I think it has more merit than it looks. So the two options were G takes H4 and Bishop G7. Those were the only two moves I considered. I thought Bishop G7 from a safety standpoint was the way to go, as far as if I didn't want to take too much risk and I wanted to kind of keep the position not, if I don't want the position to go too crazy, Bishop G7's a reasonable move, I thought. But I figured first of all, I didn't see an immediate win for white if I accept the piece, so I thought that was good. But more than that, I just felt like I kind of had to accept it. I don't know why. I just felt like playing Jon, that the honorable thing to do would be to accept the piece sacrifice and kind of see what happens. So I took it, and then Jon played Queen H5, and then I played Queen E7. I think Queen C7 loses. I can't remember my analysis, but I knew Queen E7 was. Oh yeah, because of this move, and I just thought. Yeah, and this just loses here, and then we have what's the other knight? Why is that no good? I guess the other knight should be fine. I'm guessing it just goes back to E8. Computer always shows these as being perpetuals, but that's not accurate. And then after this, so that basically just wins the queen, and the game will be won for white. So Queen C7 wasn't playable here. So Queen E7, and then before I took the piece, I looked at this line, which see this, and I saw I could play King D8 here, which this is as far as I saw when I took the piece sacrifice. This was the line I was expecting, which didn't occur in the game, but I was expecting this line, and I think I was planning on playing just I think I was planning on playing Knight D7 here, but I don't know if that loses. It doesn't look too good now. So maybe if I would have had time to study this position, I hope I would have came up with something better. Queen E5, I don't know. What happens if Knight B6? Okay, that the queen hangs. Okay, so say take. Oh, okay, Bishop C5 check. Okay, so I think I missed that during the game too. So if I don't have this nice bishop check though, this would be some trouble, but luckily I have that resource. So Rook D1. So this is very tricky though. I mean, basically I have to make sure that all the discoveries don't really lead to much. Okay, 5. So I don't know, it's interesting. This is a very complicated position. I guess the discoveries don't work, so I'm very lucky in that regard. And then even the knight on E4 is covering this bishop. So this would have been pretty hard to find all this. It would have been interesting if Jon had went to this line, what would have happened in the game. So this was the line I was expecting. But Jon actually made a move that I didn't like it at first. But after considering it for a while, I thought it was a solid move. We played Rook AE1, and I wasn't considering this move at all. And then here I played a very bad blunder, which I didn't realize this was a blunder during the game, and even now, only after I came home and saw it on the computer did I realize it was a blunder. My first instinct was to play Bishop G7, but I didn't like this Knight F5 move, which apparently is perfectly harmless for me. I thought that take Knight D5, and then I have this nice Queen G5 move, and this kind of alleviates a lot of the tension in the position. So even if Knight C7 check, I'm up so much material, I'm up 2 pieces now, that if I give back a rook, I should be fine. And well, anyway, you can't take here. Of course, you lose you can't take on A8 because you lose the queen. So say queen takes. Well, they also have queen takes F7, which is interesting. But say queen takes, just for demonstration purposes. And then I guess the knight's gonna get trapped here. Probably B5, and then bishop B7 looks good. Or computer even likes knight takes E4. And apparently this position with 4 pieces for 2, and I mean, what ugly looking pawn structure for black though. But up a pawn and up 2 pieces for the exchange, and it looks like this knight's going to get trapped. This should be good enough to win. And then, guessing this, I guess is knight, oh, knight g3. Oh, beautiful. I don't know what the name of this checkmate pattern is, but this is a very nice mate. Okay, so there's a lot of cool lines in this game. I'm trying to go over the ones I saw, and then I'm probably going a few moves farther just because with the aid of computer. But I'll try to be clear about where I saw it and kind of when I stopped calculating. So basically, I saw this line, and this just felt too threatening for me, and then also this move felt threatening. So I think I just didn't calculate this line deep enough, so I could actually get out of this mess. And this looks good too, just to simplify the position. So maybe I should have went this route. And then, so I rejected bishop g7, even though this is my first instinct, so I was probably foolish to do so. I played knight c6, which I thought this move was a good move actually. And it's a good move except for knight d5. That's the only reason why it doesn't work. But if one move from your opponent can refute your move, then that's all it's necessary. But every other move besides knight d5 is clearly winning for black. So I like this, and I was expecting knight f5 here. In which case, I was actually planning on playing. I was scared of. Okay, so this is the line I saw. So queen g5. I was scared of this line. But I didn't need to be scared. This is really nothing. After this, there's nothing for my opponent to do that really should cause me any concern. But that's easy to say, with the help of computer analysis after the fact. But over the board, it looks scary. I mean, the more into the variation I see with the computer, the less scary it looks, of course. But when you're calculating all the lines in your head, it looked kind of dangerous to me. So I think I was too scared to go into this line. But I probably shouldn't have been. So if he was playing knight f5, I'm playing queen c7 here. That was my idea of the move I was gonna play, and then I thought I didn't know exactly what he'd play here, but if he played knight takes h4, computer says bishop g7 knight e5. I was planning on playing knight e5 here, and then I thought this was good for black. So that's why I played knight c6 because I saw this line and I liked my position here quite a bit, and I thought a lot of the danger was gone. But this knight d5 idea is beautiful. I totally missed. I missed this variation. I was expecting him to take. I thought he was going to play knight f5, which leads to absolutely nothing. So I thought knight d5 was just a blunder. So I missed the key variation, and I was playing just taking. And then if e takes, I was actually just going to play knight e5. Computer showing I could actually take here and give up the queen, and I should have a better position. But I would have definitely played knight e5 in this position. And then if f6, I don't know, I could play any number of moves I think here. I think even queen e6 is probably okay. I don't see why this would be bad. So basically anything here is fine for black. But I missed one move that was crucial. So I didn't miss this move. I saw this. What I missed is if I take. So I missed rook takes e6. The computer's actually showing that even d takes e6 is winning for white. I didn't realize that, but I missed rook takes e6. What I was planning on doing was after here, I was planning on playing castle queenside. But I missed, rook takes f7, and then I think my queen is, so queen g5. e7. So I missed this e7 push, but I actually thought I can get away with this. I didn't realize how dangerous this is. I was planning on playing castle queenside after d takes e6. But so apparently this all loses, and then like I said, I missed rook takes e6, which is even more crushing. So unfortunately, after knight takes here, I can't just take back the knight. So basically, I'm just busted here, and you might be wondering how I won here, and that's a good question. I was I was shaking my head a lot here because I figured that I lost the game, and I definitely should have lost in this position. So I was very lucky not to lose here. Um, so I went with I thought for a while because I didn't really know what to do, and everything was losing. I knew that. So I was obviously pretty pissed off with myself that I kind of blown the game. So I just went with this idea of bishop g4, which I knew was losing, but I thought this was my best chance to complicate the position. So he took. I was actually wondering if queen takes d5 was playable, but um, apparently that's not so great. I guess I have this queen c7 move. And it's interesting, now that the queen took on d5, he can't open up the line with e takes to check my king. So that's kind of interesting. The queen actually gets in the way of his mobility a little bit. I wonder what happens if this move. So I just queen takes. So this would have been really complicated, but apparently this is winning for black. And then if he wants to trade off queens white, I can't imagine that this would be something that I wouldn't want to happen. So I think this is good for me. And this position is a slight advantage for me, but I mean it's just such a crazy position. Even up a piece, I don't know. My pieces aren't very well coordinated here. Anything could have happened in this position. I believe. Jon made the prudent decision of taking on g4, and then I played knight f6. And then here I saw that queen f5 was winning. I didn't see queen f3. I saw queen f5, and I knew I was busted, but I really had no other option. I thought the game was lost, and I thought bishop g4 and knight f6 was the only chance I had to complicate it. So I went with this line, and luckily for me, Jon made a bad move here with rook takes f6. Jon was really low on his clock here. He had about, I think he had about 8 minutes left. So you could, I mean, it was only a 20-move game, and you could see, I mean, you can see how much thought Jon plays this game to this position. So the nice thing for me now is that after b takes c6, which is basically forced, I almost took queen takes f6 instinctually, but luckily for me, I calmed down my nerves a little bit and took this knight here. And then now the idea is if e takes d5, this rook on e1 is no longer protected. So once the rook went to f6, this rook on e1's is if you take it. And here, even though I thought the position was still fairly even, I didn't think white was winning here. I thought that black had a slight advantage. But just kind of the way the game had went, how Jon had such a big advantage, and he could feel like he blew it in this, in this position. I just knew I would win from here. I didn't. There was no doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to win once we got to this point. And I didn't really even consider bishop takes a6 as such a strong move. I didn't see that move at all, actually. Even now, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, so I guess this is pretty tough. But yeah, this is a computer variation for sure. Maybe like very strong players could find this, or a computer, obviously. But I don't. I never thought this line would occur in the game. I never saw this, to be honest. And yeah, the crazy part is if I take, then I have queen c8 mate.
This is a checkmate too.
That's a nice mate. A nice commentary from the computer. So anyway, I never really considered this line. So in this position, I considered e5. And I think I was planning on taking. So this would have been interesting also. And even apparently a pawn up, this is totally drawn. So this is one possible variation that could have occurred. Oops, I didn't mean to make that the new main line. Okay, so anyway, my opponent played, Jon played rook e(f)(1). Shoot, I didn't mean to delete the main line, which I was actually kind of expecting this move. I was pretty sure Jon might play this. So I took, and then this didn't occur in the game, but I thought maybe something like this. And I wasn't sure if there's a perpetual, but I didn't see one. Probably would have played king d7 here just to try to get out of these annoying checks. And luckily for me, yeah, I think I need check if he plays queen here. I was just going to run away. And I think he's out of check, so he wins the pawn. D5 is a nice move. And I think there's no more reason to be fearful here. And now my rooks are connected, and I like white's position, or I like black's position here. So saving this move, then this obviously loses. So this would have been good for me. So this is a line I considered. But after this move, Jon actually played after d takes e4. Jon played e5. And I apologize if the video is a little hard to follow. I know there's a lot of variations that I'm going through. These are most of the variations I looked at in the game, and there were quite a bit of them, but I wanted to get them all on in the video. So I apologize if I'm going a little quick. So here I took, and I was expecting queen f5 here. In which case I was thinking of playing. I don't think I can play queen d7. Not really sure what I was going to play here. What was I planning on playing? I don't remember what I was going to play here. I think I wanted to play... The computer really likes this h3 idea. I'm not really even sure what that move does exactly. I think I was going to play queen d7. Hope this doesn't lose. So this is what I was... Yes, this isn't so great. I think this is what I was going to play though. So I'm not really sure why queen c5 check is any good. I think the computer likes this idea a lot. I guess this game I rook into play is pretty good. At least here I get the queens off the board, so that has to be a favorable exchange for black. And then yeah, this does look like a pretty trivial win at this point. This h3 idea was a very crucial idea in this game. I never really thought about playing h3 at any point, so that kind of sucks. Anyway though, Jon played queen takes c4. Which is a very bad move, I thought, because it just simplifies the position for me. And then I played queen c5 check, and Jon resigned immediately here. So I was very, very lucky to escape with a win. It's funny when you win with black in 20 moves, and it's one of the toughest games that you've played in a while. So I just got lucky that Jon played rook takes f6. If he would have found queen f5, he's definitely winning. It's amazing how bad of a move knight c6 was. Like, it's really hard to fathom that being such a terrible move. I could see it being like inaccuracy, but to be an outright blunder is pretty shocking to me, and just shows how complicated chess is. And I really didn't think knight d5 was that good. When I played knight c6, knight d5 was my first one of the first moves I considered for my opponent, and I just thought I thought I was okay, but apparently not. So I think we should look at knight d5 though. After the game, Jon and I looked at queen d7, trying to see if there's anything in this line. And then, yes, this knight takes e6 idea was the move. This kept coming up. The problem is if I take, then knight c7 check just wins the queen. So it's basically, there's really nothing I could do here. We looked at this knight f6 move. And then we found, yeah, I think Jon found this move again, knight takes c6. Yeah, Jon and I looked at this in the post-mortem, And then we were pretty torn between rook b8 and rook a7, and I can see why. It looks like they're exactly the same. Unfortunately, this move, bishop b7, loses on the spot. I think because of rook takes e6, or even you could take first and then play rook takes e6. And the idea is if you take back with the pawn, then queen takes here is good, or rook takes is fine as well. Even rook takes is probably simply of a mate, and then you also can just win the other rook if you want. And this is all winning for black, or for white, excuse me. Yeah, so I guess after knight c6, my position is just busted, which is very hard to believe. But these are the lines that Jon and I looked at. So knight d5 is a beautiful move. Jon took a long time thinking before he played that move. He really thought very hard about most of his moves in this game, Jon. So I could tell he was really enjoying this position and really analyzing deeply to find these creative ideas. But yeah, so I guess I'm surprised bishop g7 was the better move. This is my first impression, and I just kind of talked myself out of it based on knight f5. So I thought knight f5, and I didn't see too much. I don't know. I wonder if even this e5 move is an idea. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I should have went with bishop g7. It just seemed like the logical move. I think there was another. What else was I looking at? There's something else. I think there was something else with bishop g7 I was looking at, but can't recall right now. Yeah, maybe I was looking at knight takes e6. Yeah, I think I looked at this line also. Oh yeah, I think I looked at this, and this was. Oh, this is the move. I didn't see knight g5, so I think I was looking at this and knight d5 again. But yeah, this should be okay too. Just castle looks good. Knight c7, queen 7. Or bring the. Yeah, this check on d4 is really a very crucial resource for black. Without that, the position looks pretty equal again. So anyway, so this was a pretty complicated game tonight, and again, I think I really underestimated Jon. He played a lot better than I was expecting, and going over his games with Chris in their match, he's really been playing fantastic, and Chris is tied in the match 3.5, 3.5. So Chris is playing really well also. So I'm sure I'll get to play Chris again in the near future, and definitely won't take him for granted either. But yeah, I definitely think maybe like I had a little bit of an ego, just thinking that a little bit higher rated than Jon now, that I have an easy time, and I learned a very valuable lesson, because this game was far from anything but easy, and in fact I was totally busted. And if Jon basically plays anything other than rook takes f6 here, probably talking about different game, different results of the game at least. So anyway, and at least my instincts were right with accepting the piece. You can never be too sure when your opponent offers you a piece if it's a sound sacrifice or what's going on. So I calculated it as being not quite sound, and at least that assessment was right. And if I just wouldn't have played knight c6, I probably would have. If I would have played bishop g7, I guess I probably would have never had the inferior position, at least according to computer evaluation. But I'm sure it would still have been tough to face over the board, and I bet you Jon would have had some nice tactical ideas up his sleeve still. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a very crazy game, so I was glad to get a chance to play it. Anyway, this is Ryan Phillips signing off, and thank you so much for watching my videos, and looking forward to Game 8 between Jon Trivett and Chris Reynolds. It should be a very exciting game, and whoever wins that will be the winner of the match. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and hope you enjoy my video next week as well.